222.
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports, 25% sorts. And here are your hosts, Shane and the Bri Man.
Yes, we are back and blurrier than ever. The Bri Man is having a little bit of a technical difficulties this morning, trying to figure out how to get the camera to work on his Chromebook. If you have any ideas, please go ahead, throw them in the comment section to help him out, help a brother out, so he can, because I know you guys all want to see him nice and clearly. So if you could do us that favor, maybe throw a little like on there, smash it a little bit, smash the subscribe button, smash the notification bell, all those kind of things. And then, of course, help the Bri Man out. Help him with his camera. Unless you like him blurry. If you want him blurry and you're like, you know what? You've never looked so good. Then just go that route. But if not,
I need to see what this looks like on YouTube. All right. You know what? It's not as awful as I thought. It's not great, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought. That's what she said, but
yeah.
Okay. I mean, that could have been worse. It's still not good though. I'm very unhappy about this. I guarantee you my 12-year-old daughter could fucking come downstairs and figure this out right now.
And there's the shine right there that this show is not for kids. Even though he's talking about his 12-year-old daughter, it's still not for kids because, you know. Are we still on YouTube? I don't know. Can you check and see if we're still on YouTube?
Oh, geez. I don't know.
It should go black for a second, and then we'll be back.
It looks like we are.
Did it go black?
It looks like we're on. I think we're on YouTube. Yeah, we're on.
Yeah. Okay. That worked. Wow. That's incredible. All right. That's fantastic. Thank God. All right. So I can't believe that worked. All right. Because we just kind of everything got quit. It's just like, man, so many technical difficulties. Anyway, all right, let's get into the show before any other crazy stuff happens on. We have, like I said, we have the Wheel of Destiny that we're going to be spinning today. That'll give us sometimes some of the topics we will be just tackling right away. Some other topics, if there's enough time at the end of the show, some other topics we will be spinning and then we will just push it to the next week. If we don't have enough time at the end of the show, it depends on the topic as well. There's a bunch of things on there. There's recast a movie. We have like Animal House on there. We have the Mount Rushmore of characters in baseball movies, Mount Rushmore of Marvel movie characters with MK. We have that for Will Ferrell movies and Adam Sandler movies. We have Franklin and Bash. Now, I don't know if anybody has watched Franklin and Bash, but if you haven't, you should because it's an amazing show. It was an amazing show. And it has one of my favorite people in the world, Mark Paul Gosselaar. I have always had a man crush on him ever since he was Zach Morris back in the day in Saved by the Bell. Any person that's about my age would probably say the same. Anybody that could land Kelly Kapowski over and over and over again is top notch in my book. And so the Franklin and Bash there's scenes where they would have these little chats, usually at the diner, something along the lines like, who would win this fight, or who would win this, and they would kind of like a desert island question, all that kind of stuff. And that's what those are going to be. Those are going to be kind of like desert island questions, or like who would win in this, or who would battle in that. Would you, I think they even had ones that were like, if you could, because they were both single guys at the time, if you could marry, or you could, what was it? If you could hook up with like whoever, like Heather Locklear, but you could never look her in the eyes or something like that. Like something along those lines. They did weird stuff like that. They just said weird stuff like that. And they would always come up with their answers, and they were pretty funny. So we are going to do stuff like that. We have the how is it only and how is it actually. That is all about the Rotten Tomato game that we have. And we also have a little, it's not finished yet, but it's pretty much finished. We have a video that someone's been working on for us. And this is the video. I'm going to put it on the screen right now so you can check it out. I like it so far. The Bri Man hasn't seen it yet. But if he looks on YouTube, he'll probably be able to see it. If not, he's not going to be able to see it because he's on Skype. So we will check this out right here. Ready? Go. Have all of them ready yet. And it's going to take some time. And hopefully it'll just be good. And hopefully it won't be too painful over the next. This is going to be painful. This show, just letting you know right now, is painful. It's painful to everybody. It's painful to us. But we do have like a high quality of like 4 viewers at the time, so that's good.
Really? Because I see 0.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have 4. Let's get into our baseball. Let's start off with baseball right out the gate. We can get into. We'll start in the American League East because that's our jam right there. That's our team. We'll go American League East, and then we'll go into the AL Central, and then the AL West, and then the National League East, and we'll do that way. Okay. Sure. So let's start off with the. I think, and we don't have to go deep into these because I think certain situations it's going to be pretty easy to pick. I don't think that this year is all that difficult to pick. It seems like some of the teams that were already good got better, and there are certain teams that stayed about the same, and I would put the Yankees in that category. So let's get into the American League East. League East, you have the Yankees, the Rays, the Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Orioles. I really don't think the Red Sox are anywhere near really contention yet. They're not going to contend. The Orioles are nowhere, they're not going to contend. The Blue Jays, I think, are an up-and-coming team that are going to be dangerous, and they will sneak some wins out in some big spots and will take wins away from us. And take wins away from the Rays, because I think those are the 2 teams that are going to be fighting out for first place, but I don't think it's going to be all that close. I think that the Yankees are still the best team in the American League East. I think that they have not gotten much better. I do think that they are equally good as last year. I think if they can have a couple players, for instance, someone like Gary Sanchez not strike out 9 out of 10 times, that would be
counting on that. Don't pay attention to spring training then.
Well, I know he's like 4 for 30 or something like that with like 19 Ks.
Awful.
Yeah,
he's. I shouldn't say that. He's just Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, well,
which is awful.
They need to. So you hate Giancarlo Stanton. You absolutely hate him. Stanton.
Hate him?
Stanton?
No, I don't hate him. I mean, I just, look, I look at him sort of as A-Rod 2.0 sans the steroids. Well, at least I hope sans the steroids. I don't hate him. I just, you know what it is? I hate Cashman more because Cashman just made the wrong decision.
Oh, you're on with Joe.
He could have gotten Yelich, which might have changed the entire course of this team, and probably we would have a championship in the last couple of years, if not more than one, if it had been Yelich instead of Stanton. He made the wrong call. We got the wrong guy, and we're paying the price for it.
Hindsight's 20/20.
I do not hate Giancarlo Stanton. Now, I don't know. Honestly, Sanchez might be the only guy I kind of really hate.
Wow.
And I really just because I've never understood it. He's not a good defensive catcher. He cannot hit anywhere near his own weight. Oh my God, if he could hit his own weight, I'd be thrilled. Because I don't know what he weighs, and I'm guessing it's like 220, 230, but who wouldn't sign up for that? Like, I would definitely sign up for him hitting his weight.
He'll bat over 230 this year.
I'd sign up. No, he will not. I would sign up for him hitting above the Mendoza line.
Want to bet on it?
Like average defense.
Want to bet on it?
Bet? What's the bet?
He bats over 230.
Oh, I will take that bet. Yes. Okay. What do you want? You want a 6-pack?
I don't drink beer. So how about that?
About like you have to get abs.
No, because if we're talking, that's not.
I don't drink hard liquor.
Well, yeah, I know, but you know, what's like a top? How much is a top tier 6-pack?
$20.
Okay.
Well, mostly you're usually 4-packs, but that like $20.
Okay. So $20. How about you do? I get you a top tier 4-pack, right? Yeah. Of your choice.
Sure. Okay.
And then I pick around a $20 bottle of wine.
Okay, fine. Perfect. Yes.
Okay. There's our bet.
Dude, that's a bet I want to lose. I desperately want to lose that bet.
Right. So this is my big. I do think that he's going to struggle. He's not going to have a great year because I do think he is like a 250 to 260 hitter. But the problem is with him is that it's catching. He is not a good catcher. I think it gets in his head. And I think the big problem is, this is the whole problem, is that him with Giancarlo Stanton there. Stanton needs to get moved out so they can just throw him in as a DH. And if they can just throw him in as a DH, his batting average will go up to 260, maybe even 270. And he'll be a 35 to 40 home run guy with 120 RBIs every year. The problem, because he
I think
can't.
That's a terrible assessment.
I just.
I don't think that would happen.
Oh, I think easily. No, I think it's easy. He is a good bat. I just think catching has really consumed him because he's so bad at it, and he has to focus on it 100%. He has to
work hard to get to like slightly below average catching.
Right. And do you know how hard that is mentally on you? Like that is like...
Sure it is, but welcome to the big leagues, kid.
Right. But some players are better just as DHs.
The bottom line is they invested they held on too long. Now, I guess the upside is that he doesn't cost them anything. He's still in,
Yeah.
So, and this is it. This is his make or break year, because I think after this, I think he's an unrestricted free agent after this year. So,
which is also great in my favor. We'll see.
Look at his contract on Sport Rack, but I think I think they can cut ties, comfortably after this year. And,
okay.
But anyways, so let me just, you gave your prediction. I'm with you, by the way, on the prediction.
Kluber, and they signed our man DJ. They're still there. You have Tyon, who's there.
So listen, here's what I want to say about the Yankees. This is another thing that Joe Pacino and I actually
bullpen isn't quite as great.
Yeah. Well, once I get Britton back, I'll feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But that's probably summertime. So here's the one thing I actually think about the Yankees. I think this team is an absolute all or nothing team. And when I say that, it means I think either the nothing is, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The all is, they're going to win it all. That's how I don't.
Wow.
And honestly, I really don't think there's and I know a lot of people would disagree with me, probably you. I don't think there's a lot of gray area there. I think they are an all or nothing team, because I think it's either all going to work out or it's going to completely fall apart. They're going to, like, Kluber will be hurt. Tyon will be hurt. Britton won't come back the same. Severino won't make, even when Severino makes it back, he'll be ineffective. He'll keep tipping his pitches. It's either all going to work out or none of it is. That's how I feel about this year. I really don't see a lot of gray area for them. And I'm probably a little bit more worried about the Blue Jays than you are. I do think the Yankees will win the division. I don't know how comfortable it will be. I think it'll be very uncomfortable, because I think the Blue Jays are going to make us very uncomfortable. That lineup of theirs scares the shit out of me. I mean, they're I don't know what the next level is between like pesky and dangerous, if there's some sort of middle ground between those two, but that's what the Blue Jays are. Their lineup it scares me. And it scares me in the long term because of how young all those guys are. Mm-hmm. A lot of legacy players on that team. They're actually a fun team. They are actually a really fun team. If you were a Blue Jay fan, there's a lot to look forward to. Here's what I will say about the Blue Jays, though. Who in that pitching rotation scares you? None. Nobody. The answer is nobody. Nobody really scares you.
They're an offensive juggernaut. They're going to score lots of runs. They're going to hit lots of home runs. I mean, they added Springer.
Ryu is, I guess, their ace, right?
Yeah.
Hyunjin Ryu.
It's terrifying.
That's not an ace.
No.
That's not even an ace of your team.
He's the bat. He's probably a three guy.
Yeah, he's a 3 on like a good team.
Yeah.
Like when he was with the Dodgers.
Right.
That was a good spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
He came to the Blue
3,
Jays.
4,
He's their ace, and he should not be. So that's.
We just got another morning, boys. I don't know if that's a glitch or not. Glitch in the Matrix. I've all sorts of glitches today.
Probably. That's where the Blue Jays are a little deficient, is in the starting rotation. But anyways, we should move on and go to the next division. But I agree with you. This is the Yankees. If I had to pick like a final order, I would say Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays, Red Sox, Orioles. That would be.
Got a question for you. Over under 97 wins for the Yankees.
Oh man, can I do like a push and just say that's the number? Under by 96.
I say over. I think they're going to win. They're going to be close to 100 wins.
The reason I say under,
97's close. That's why I thought it was a good number.
The only reason I say under is because I think that the Blue Jays and the Rays and the Yankees will beat each other up. enough that
makes sense.
If they're playing,
I think that the Yankees offense is close to the Blue Jays, but the Yankees pitching is far better than the Blue Jays. So I think they're going to win more games. Like there's not going to be a 50-50 split there. But I think the Blue Jays and the Rays are both going to have winning records. I mean, the Blue Jays and the Rays, sorry. Yeah.
I think that's, I think so. I think the Blue Jays will definitely have a winning. I'm a little more worried about the Rays just because, when you lose Blake Snell.
Yeah.
And, I just, you took an ace away.
Yeah.
Of a team that is.
They're going to have a battle for second.
Because the Rays pitching was their strength.
Right.
And so you took a big piece of that strength.
And I think they're going to have a good battle for second place. I think it's going to be fun. A fun second place battle. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards the Blue Jays just because I just think their lineup is a little deeper, and I think the pitching staffs are. I mean, I would give the Rays the edge in pitching and the Blue Jays the edge in lineup, but I just got a feeling like the Blue Jays are just going to be a little more trouble than they were last year.
Gotcha. All right, let's go on to the AL Central. We got the Twinkies, the Indians, the White Sox, the Royals, the Tigers. I'll let you go first. You can go first with this one.
I'll just run down how I think it's going to go.
Okay. I mean, the Tigers are going to finish in last, but yeah.
The Tigers not only going to finish in last, but they might be battling the Orioles for like all-time worst record. It could be a really ugly season.
Oh, Damian's on spring break, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Real quickly for me, I think it'll be close, but I got the White Sox winning this division. I got the White Sox
wow.
Upending the Twins. I feel like every year the Twins are just like this kind of, I mean, I've got the Indians in third place, by the way, and then the Royals in fourth. I just kind of feel like not like the Twins ever had that window per se, because they could never get by the Yankees, but I don't know. I just feel like I like what the White Sox are building. They're a young team with a good core. And I think it's going to finally all come together for them. And I also think that they'll be a dangerous team in the playoffs too. Like I could definitely see them in an ALCS.
Gotcha.
This year.
All right.
But that's where I've got it. I've got the White Sox winning the division, and maybe even comfortably, like maybe even by like 7 games or more.
Wow. So I have the Twins winning. I think it's a Twinkie year. I have the Indians in third place and the Sox in second as well. I have the White Sox in second. I think that the White Sox. I think it's going to be It's going to be a very big battle for the number 1 spot. But I do think that the Twins are going to like edge it out just because they just seem to do that stuff from time to time. Like just
And then ultimately fail in the playoffs.
Yeah, and
great regular season.
Yeah, and I think anybody that leaves the Central this year and goes into the playoffs is going to have that same fate. There's just nothing really fearful in the Central.
The White Sox lineup has some depth.
They do, but it's not like it's worse than the Blue Jays.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
And the Blue Jays were looking at second or third in the AL East. I'm just saying, like.
We're talking relative to the division.
Yeah, and I just think that there's not a lot scary that's coming out of the Central. So for the playoffs, it's just going to be like they're getting in. Whoever gets in is going to get bounced out pretty quick. Like I just don't see, unless they're like super hot at the time, of course. But Damian says that I guess he's saying the Yankees will beat the Red Sox and the Orioles 15 times each.
I don't know about that. That won't happen. You
got Trey Mancini on the Orioles, and he just like.
Hey, don't make fun of Trey Mancini, dude. I love that guy.
I know you do. You always talk about how he lights up the Yankees all the time.
Love that guy so much, and he beat cancer, by the way, too. So awesome.
Absolutely.
Way to go, Trey.
And then he said, "Man, YouTube is struggling today. If that comment came through twice, apologies. It told me it failed to go through. You might have said it before we like dropped out and came back. So
maybe
sorry
it is
about that.
YouTube that's struggling and not
it
us.
could be.
Although we're struggling too.
It's probably us. We're trying a bunch of new things, new settings. We're trying to get things better. So it's a little bit different.
New equipment between the last show and this show.
Yeah, a lot of new equipment. So we're struggling. And then all right. So let's get into. The next division, which is the AL West. That's the Astros, the A's, the Mariners, Rangers, the Angels. Who do you got? Who you got coming out of the AL West? Your favorite team, the Astros?
unfortunately, those fucking cheaters are they're gonna win that division. They are. I mean, Oakland, I think, will make it close. I think this is gonna be one of those typical years, like, right? Houston.
So you think even though the Stros lost Springer and they're not going to get Verlander, they're still going to come through?
Yeah, and that's an indictment on the division. I don't know. I mean, maybe this will finally be the year where like everything works out for the Angels and they can put it together.
They need to stay healthy. Yeah, if they can stay healthy.
I mean, Ohtani is having some kind of spring, and he is a special player.
He is. If he can stay healthy, he's a special player.
God, I really do wish
on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I want him to stay healthy. I have no like animosity towards him, even though he didn't choose the Yankees. I don't. I wish him all the best because he's just one of those guys that I think is so great for baseball, and the fact that him and Trout are on the same team in the same lineup.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
And I so desperately want Mike Trout to like get a playoff run, but there's no pitching there. How are they going to do any? Even if they could make the playoffs, how are they?
The good thing is also AL West is not a like.
It's not a juggernaut.
No.
And there's 3 teams up there who, if you said any one of them could win, like if you just pulled the name out of a hat, you could maybe make a case for each one.
And that's why I think that the Yankees are going to come close to winning like 100 games this year, is because maybe even get over, is because the AL Central and the AL West is just, if you want to look at where the juggernauts are this year, it's all in the NL. NL is full. Especially in the East and the West. It is.
It's very difficult.
There are just some really good teams.
I will be disappointed. I mean, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, if the Yankees don't make the World Series this year, I would consider that a massive disappointment.
They have a weak. It's a weak. Just the whole division is just weak. Like, I mean, it's just this AL is just not great this year. It'll still provide some good entertainment because there's some, like I said, in the AL East, that's where you got the most kind of talent with the Rays and the Jays.
I will go for this division. I'm going to go Astros, Angels, A's, Mariners, Rangers, Mariners, whatever.
I have the same thing except for number 1 and 2. I'm going to go with the Angels because I want Mike Trout to get there. And I have it just barely edging them out, like something like 90 wins for the Angels and 89 for the Astros, or maybe 89 and 88, something like that. I just don't, the Astros, they had Osuna, and as much as you and I both didn't dislike Osuna, he was an effective closer. Yeah. They don't have him anymore. So they have lost a lot.
I would have picked the Angels if the Astros didn't get Brantley back, because I thought Brantley was going to go elsewhere, but him being in that lineup,
he's a good player.
Tuve still, he's a good player. He's just a professional hitter.
Yeah, and I would like to see. I just want to see the Angels do something, like have a spot where they are close, and they just are able to edge it, like maybe get another reliever and get another starter.
But couldn't you also very easily see the Angels finishing third in this division?
Yeah.
Like, it could very
the A's could outbeat them, or because the A's do have some pop.
And the A's are going to pull their normal shit, right? Where like they maybe start off slow and then have this massive run.
Yeah, where they win like 40 out of 50 games or something like that.
They're going to sprint to the finish, and they're either going to like win the division or
Yeah, but the Rangers are terrible, and the Mariners aren't very good either. So, all right, let's get into National League East.
This is a tough division for me, and I'm trying not to go like heart over head here, because unlike most Yankee fans, I do not hate the Mets. In fact, I like the Mets, and I like going to the Citi Field because it's a top 3 stadium in baseball, to be honest. This division is really good, and like almost from top to bottom really good, because the Marlins, even though I have the Marlins finishing last. It's not an ugly last. It's like a competitive last. Like they could still win 80 games, maybe in the high 70, like not an embarrassing last. Let's put it that way, okay? Like to me, this is the best division in baseball.
Yeah.
Or at least the most competitive.
Yes.
Because it's just not super top heavy. My head says you should pick the Braves, but my heart says the Mets are going to figure out a way to win this division.
They got a good team.
They have a good team. I'm looking forward to seeing Frankie Lindor in New York.
Unfortunately, not in the right uniform, but
it's okay. I mean, I love him. I do love him.
he's a good player.
He's a great player, and he's still good for baseball too.
Yeah.
He's an ambassador for baseball kind of guy, and he's one of those he's a joy of baseball guy, as I like to say.
Unfortunately, he's not going to have. I don't think he's going to have a very long career because he's just so slight.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he'll have a good career.
I think he's going to have a good. I think he's going to have. He might even have a Hall of Fame career. It's just not going to be like for another 10 years.
Well, I'm gonna say the Mets in this division by like a nose hair, and then the Braves. Both will make the playoffs.
Not giving the Nationals any shine, huh?
And then I got Nationals, Phillies, Marlins to round it out. But and again, the Mets are in a weird kind of way. I like once they get everyone, like once Syndergaard comes back, I love their pitching staff.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's going to be back in like June, maybe.
Yeah, and if I think they need to get a little bit more out of Marcus Stroman. But even still, you have the ace of aces.
Yeah.
You have the best pitcher in baseball on your team. The best pitcher in baseball. I don't even think it's close. I actually saw some MLB ranking the other day where they were like ranking like best players in baseball, like overall, like the top 20. I think it was like ESPN's top 20 or something like that in baseball. And I could swear to God they had Garrett Cole above Jacob deGrom. And listen, as much as I love Cole, I was like laughing. I'm like, were you kidding?
Yeah.
It's not even close.
It's close.
Jacob deGrom is head and shoulders the best pitcher in baseball.
Garrett Cole is not close. He's a stud.
He's the ace of aces, the king of kings. He's the man.
He is very good. I give you that.
I mean, can you imagine how many games he would win? Well, I shouldn't disparage the Mets now because their lineup is better. But can you imagine how many games like deGrom would win if he was like a Yankee?
You never know. Some pitchers just find ways to lose.
Well, Jacob deGrom is not that guy. That's when you have a guy that good. It's where the team fails you, the lineup fails you, not you failing them.
It happens though. It happens.
I don't even remember a game last year or even recent memory where like deGrom got blown up. Whereas Cole can get blown up. It can happen. deGrom, like his bad game is giving up 3
He's
runs.
good. He's really good.
It's a bad game for him.
I love that guy. I think
a quality outing.
I remember getting in so many arguments with people like several years ago about how deGrom was the best pitcher out of Harvey and Syndergaard and that, and they would just, no, there's no way. There's no way.
Because you were talking about classic power pitchers, even though deGrom throws hard.
He is a power pitcher that happens to have 3 other pitches.
But you had one guy with the nickname of Thor and the other guy with the nickname of the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And so, And
then you have this hippie with the long hair.
Right.
Throwing gas with a great slider.
Now he cleaned up, though. He's got the short hair.
Still.
Kind of like sold out like Charlie Sheen in Major League, but Major League 2. Except he's still
Stick
great.
with the heater.
Give him the heater, Ricky.
All right. So yeah, I have the Mets winning the division as well. This could be one of those years where we get a New York in the World Series because they do have that. It's just they have some parts in their lineup that aren't proven yet. They have some young talent that's not really proven. So we'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out.
It's too stressful. I can't do it. I mean, I know it's maybe fun. It's fun for New York and the 5 boroughs. I can't deal with that shit.
Yeah, the rest. I don't know how much the rest of the country likes it, but I think
the rest
definitely
of the country hates it.
Yeah, but it'd be fun for us. Be fun for me. But I actually have the Braves in third. I'm gonna put the Nationals in second. I think that the Braves are just gonna happen. They're just gonna. It's gonna be a down year for them. I think that they're going to come back next year, and I think that they will continue to fight. But I just think it's going to be a down year. I think the Nationals, they just have a way of winning games, I still like their staff. I still like their lineup. So I am saying the Mets are going to run away with the division. I think they're going to win by 10, 12 games. Wow. And I think that the Nationals and Phillies will be fighting out for that mid-80s kind of. I think that's how they're going to shake it out. Cool. I mean, the Nats and the Braves, they're going to kind of it's going to be like 83, 85 wins-ish. And then the Phillies will probably be right there too. They're going to probably be right around 500, maybe a hair over. So it's going to be a very good finish, particularly in that mid part of the division. So I'm excited to see how that all shakes out as well. All right, NL Central. This is a fairly tough division to pick always. They always seem to have, they never seem to really have like a lot of like the top tier talent, but they always seem to have all about equal talent. And it kind of flip flops, sometimes the Reds sneak their way in there. Sometimes the Pirates sneak their way in there, but it happens to be the Brewers right now that are in there. The Brewers, the Cubs, and the Cardinals are kind of the three teams that kind of have the best lineup, best pitching staff. Unfortunately, I think the Cardinals are a little bit old, and in some certain key spots. I'm not sure how Arenado is going to perform. He's just getting older, as we all are. And is he going to still be that MVP on both sides of the ball? Is he going to be, just a super stud? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's going to be able to handle it in that particular lineup, but I hope he does, because he's such a stud. At least he was at Coors. And then I have the Brewers finishing in first this year. I like their staff. I like their lineup. And I have the Cubs finishing in second. And then I think it's all going to be close. It's all going to be within about 5 games. The Cubs, the Brewers, and the Cardinals, I think are all going to be within about 5 to 7 games of each other. So it's going to be kind of a nail biter going into September.
So we're the same. I'm just swapping 2 and 3. I've got Brewers 1, Cardinals 2. Is that what?
Oh, okay, yeah. So you have Cardinals second and Cubs third.
Cubs. Yeah.
I like the Cubs this year. I think the Cubs. I like it. I like Jock Peterson. I think he's going to have a bang out year. I think he's going to hit like 35 bombs. I think he's going to do well in that lineup. All right, so now we're going to move on to the NL West, where
doozy.
If there was ever a couple of teams that are going to really compete with the Mets this year.
Yeah, there they are.
You have the Dodgers and the Padres.
Yeah.
These are 2 teams that I am going to watch as much as possible. As much as I have the availability to watch the Dodgers and the Padres play, I want to see them play because they're both going to be very exciting teams. I mean, you have Bauer on the Dodgers now.
There's going to be a lot of games.
That starting staff for the Dodgers is outrageous.
Yeah, it's out of control.
Outrageous. Their offense is bananas. The Padres.
It's as complete a team. It's a champion that got better.
Yeah. And the Padres are maybe a hair worse, because they don't have quite the starting staff. They still have a very good starting staff.
Yeah.
They might not have the same exact bullpen, but they have a good bullpen. And they have a beast of a lineup.
I think both teams upgraded, but they stayed relative to where they are. Yeah. So it's like the Dodgers got Bauer. Okay, they moved a tick up. But then the Padres got Snell, so they moved a tick up. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, they're there. They're with each other. I mean, I don't know about you. I've got the Dodgers 1, Padres 2.
Me too.
And then who really gives a shit after that? But if you want to fill it out, I don't know. Giants, D-backs, Rockies, I don't know.
Yeah, I have D-backs, Giants, Rockies.
Giants, Rockies, whatever.
Rockies are definitely in last. They're the garbage team.
They're
but the D-backs and the D-backs and the Giants are I think 3rd, 4th.
But let's be honest. The Padres and the Dodgers both making the playoffs. Braves and Mets should both be in the playoffs, in my opinion. What are we? I don't even know is it 6? Are we doing the 6 teams again? I don't even know.
I don't know. We'll figure that out later. We're not picking. We're just picking division winners right now. We're not picking World Series.
So let's just recap this then. I have Dodgers. You have Dodgers.
Yep.
We've both got Brewers Central.
Mm-hmm.
We both have Mets in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so we agreed there. West, I went Astros. You went Angels, right?
Yes.
Central, I went White Sox. Did you go Twins?
I said Twinkies.
And we both got the Yankees in the East.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. I like it. All right, let's move on. Next topic. Get a little NFL action in here. Bum, 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 bum. We got.
Quick, by the way.
What's that?
This should be a quick one.
Yeah. This isn't going to be too crazy. We have. I did a Twitter poll, and it's going to be. We're just going to quickly talk about the NFL and their upcoming 17-game schedule. If that's a good thing for the sport, or is it a bad thing for the sport? Like, what are the ramifications of a 17-game schedule? I had posted, let's see, my feed keeps locking up. the same
I
point.
think
Did
the
you guys
results
crash?
were 50-50.
We did crash. We did. Hopefully, it's fixed. All right. Were they 50-50? They ended up 50-50?
Yeah.
All right. Let me look at it real quick.
The question
Wow,
was,
it's exact. Yeah, 50-50. Holy cow.
The question was, do you think an NFL 17-game regular season is a good idea? The options were yes, more is better, and then no, injuries will pile up.
And it's 50-50.
Split. It was 50-50.
So, and I am in the camp of, I think the injuries are going to pile up. I think that as it is, there's more and more injuries. And the more that they treat these concussions like the way they should, the worse off it's going to be. And I think that that's a big problem for the sport. I think it's a big problem for, I don't think it's going to be an issue with like people getting too much football. Cause I don't think that we're there yet. I think, if they move to like a 20-game season, I think then you're talking like people are going to start getting a little sick of football. That will never happen.
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that because at one point it was 14 and now it's 17.
Yeah. So, it's probably won't be in our lifetime.
In our lifetime,
yeah.
now.
So I think that it's going to be one of those things that the injuries are going to pile up. I think that you're going to have potentially the players getting a little bit mad about it. Even though they're making more money, it could shorten careers, which is unfortunate.
The players are not happy about it.
They signed off on it though. That's their union.
A lot of players aren't happy about it. Some of the very big stars who are vocal about it on Twitter. Yeah. Let's put it that way.
They should be.
But I'm actually in the camp of I like it, but it's not like a slam dunk. I love it. So I like it for the obvious reason. Yes, it's just another game of football, and the NFL is enticing, and I can't get enough of it. And I love the fact that in that week 17 game, it'll be Giants at Dolphins, which for me and my friend Tim Callahan, that's cool. Him as a Giants fan, me as a Dolphin fan, that'll be fun. I'm sure I bet he and I will place like a little beer bet on it or something. Except I might bet against my team. But ultimately I like it. I will tell you though, just because of my own OCD.
Yeah.
I hate that a team can't go 500 anymore. Bothers me.
It's annoying.
Literally you can't go 500.
Plus you can't have even home and away games, which is correct. Annoying. Because you can have a year where like you have more away games than home games.
This year it benefits the Dolphins because that game would be in Hard Rock Stadium, but next year that'll shift and the Dolphins will be on the road 9 times. Yeah, that bothers me. I'm bugged by the fact that a team can't literally finish mediocre. Like by the very definition of mediocrity, which would be to go 8-8.
Right.
That bothers me. I don't know why. It's an OCD thing. It definitely is. Because, I love the whole 8-8 thing. Because God, it's like, so that's how conditioned I am as a Dolphin fan. I love 8-8. It's just like, it's just who we are. Ultimately, I like it. It's another game of the NFL. As a consumer, as a fan, extracting the players aspect of it and the injury aspect of it, which, that's not nice to do, but whatever. I'm a fan. I'm a football fan, so I want to see more football. And I hope it takes a preseason game away.
You know what's weird? I have a question for you. Are you a bigger baseball fan or a bigger football fan?
Oh, no, baseball's my first love.
Right.
Always.
Would you like to see a longer baseball season or a shorter baseball season?
Shorter baseball season.
So it's funny how you want more football but less baseball.
Right. Yeah.
And granted, they're two totally different sports.
I love baseball and I like baseball more. Yeah.
And I think it would. I'm in the same boat. I don't think they need an extra game. I think that's just pushing it a little bit too much.
Here's what I will tell you though, as sort of
I think 16 was a perfect amount of games.
It was a perfect amount of games. Here's what I will tell you though, although baseball is my first love and I do love it more, I will tell you though that in the last 5+ years, I care more about football because that's the one team I have that has not won it all. Because every other team, as you know, every other team of mine, every other team has won multiple championships. And when I say every other team, I mean like my college football, my college basketball, my baseball, my hockey, my NBA has all won at least 3 championships or more. All I've got left on that empty resume is the Dolphins. That's it. That's all I have. Now, as I told you, I'm going to be doing in a few weeks. I don't know when this thing is coming. And I sent you a text about this the other day. I'm going to be doing a little video unveiling, not on our show because I don't think I could wait. It depends on when this thing arrives. I don't think I could actually wait to open it, but I am going to be doing a video unveiling that sort of basically has something to do with what we're talking about right now. But like that is the hole on that resume that needs to be filled before I leave this place. I need that. I need that Vince Lombardi trophy in my life. I got to have it. So bottom line is I care more about baseball is my first love, but in the last few years, it's really been the Dolphins that have consumed me because
you don't have the champ. Yeah, I get it.
That's the check on the resume that I need. And you are unfortunately in the same boat. And you've been way more tantalizingly close than I have.
Had a good team last year too. I think we have improved this year. I think it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be another good year.
You did improve. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's some other teams that have also improved.
I'm telling
that
you,
were also good.
You and I talked about this last week. The Bills. I'm sorry. At that pick, whatever it is, 29-30, you got to pick a running back. That is the only hole on that team. That's it, dude. There's no other real holes on that team. That is the move that, and I honestly think that they're going to, and I actually think the Bills scare me because that to me is
they got Breda. They signed him.
But you know what? He is a nice little piece though, because I guarantee you, unlike the Dolphins, the Bills will figure out how to use him properly. Right. But he's a nice change of pace guy for whomever you're going to draft. If I were the Bills, I would package their first rounder and their second rounder and maybe even a first rounder next year. Try to move into the middle of this thing and be aggressive and get yourself a top tier running back. Like I don't know where Najee Harris is going to go because he's the one guy I want the Dolphins to get. But if the Bills could figure out a way to basically leapfrog, I think the Cardinals and the Patriots, who are at 15 and 16, Patriots 15, Cardinals 16, like that's the sweet spot I think for Najee Harris. If the Bills did something aggressive like that and got Najee Harris, I'd be like, oh, but they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Because that's how close I think the Bills are. Their offense is stacked. You guys have three receiver set, very great depth there. Then you've got a really good championship level defense. Mm-hmm. That is the one area on that team that is lacking because you've got your quarterback. So
I mean, Zach Moss is good. He just hurt his ankle this year. So I mean,
but here's the thing with Singletary and Moss. Do you really look at those two guys and say, this is is this a backfield that you feel like you have to game plan for, and that whereas a guy like Najee Harris or even a Travis Etienne those are gonna be guys that you're gonna have to say, shit, we have to really account for these dudes, because I feel like Zach Moss and Devin Singletary are just like those 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of guys. You know, it's like
Zach Moss is a little bit more of a bruiser, just a little bit. He's not like. I mean, he's not like a Derrick Henry, but.
Okay, who's Derrick Henry? But are any one of those guys like 3 down backs that really is going to scare you? I don't think so.
It depends. I think Zach Moss could have been good. He could be a 1,000-yard rusher, but no, he's not going to be something that is a game change. Like you're going to have to do a game plan for.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but if you have Najee Harris combined with those 3 receivers, that's a problem. Yeah. That's a major problem.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I would say yes. It would be unfortunate because I do think that what they think of as their running game is sprinkle it between Moss. Moss is your main guy. Singletary's kind of your third down or throwing back, but he's also can get you some yards here and there. And I think that they're like Josh Allen is going to be another guy who's going to get us about 500 yards on the ground in addition to what he throws through the air. And I think that they don't want to. It's weird because I think right now they don't want to force him to have to keep handing the ball off, but I do think it would be good for his career. And plus, the more you hand the ball off, the more open these receivers are going to get. So I do think there's kind of a good balance to it. So yeah, I'd be thrilled with a top tier, with a really good running back. I'd be thrilled.
Do you think, again, it's a weird spot. Let's just say they stay where they are. Do you think that's the position they go?
I don't know.
I mean, I do.
I really don't. I have no
It's hard.
idea. I have not like followed the rumorville as much as I would like. And mainly I just keep seeing what like things that pop up and I'm like, oh, that's a good signing. Oh, that's that's a good idea. That was a good one. By the way,
very quickly. So I think we're so you and I are split, but not a ton on the whole 17 game thing. But let's just talk very, very quickly, recap the big trade that took place over this past week between the Dolphins, the Eagles, and the 49ers. And let me see if I can explain this properly. So the Dolphins traded from 3 to 12 with the 49ers. The 49ers gave them their first rounder next year, their first rounder in 2023, and then a third rounder, I think, this year.
It's a good deal.
Which was a great haul. Then the Dolphins took their first round pick from next year, 2022, flipped it to the Eagles to go for the Dolphins to move from 12 back into the top 10 at 6. So ultimately, the Dolphins traded away the 3 pick to the 6 pick and netted themselves a third rounder and a first rounder in 2023. A little underwhelming in my opinion. I think they could have gotten more. That being said, I don't actually think the Dolphins are done trading. I think the sweet spot for them is actually moving down a couple more spots to like 8 or 9.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
How pissed off are you going to be if they draft a quarterback?
They're not going to. I would be livid, but they're not going to do that. This is an indication that they're not going to do that. Because if you really were going to draft a quarterback, why would you move out of the top 3?
Because I don't think that there's a couple of quarterbacks that I think they'll go around 10. Lance?
No. No, I think he'll be gone. I think quarterbacks might go top. I think you might have 4 in the top 5 because I think there's going to be more maneuvering. Okay. And also, I would not rule against the Falcons picking a quarterback because even though they have Matt Ryan for another.
They're trying to get rid of Matt Ryan. They're trying to get rid of him.
Well, but I still think their best short term is to win with him in a couple of years. Like if I were the Falcons, I'd really concentrate on trying to build up your defense because offensively they're still scary. Like they have, in my opinion, the best wide receiver tandem in the NFL between Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley, and then you've still got an effective running back in Todd Gurley, and I still think Matty Ice is a good quarterback. If you could just build their defense back up to what it was a couple of years ago, you think they could find themselves in the playoffs again. But the problem is their defense is porous. So
if they don't get rid of Matt Ryan this year, he'll be gone next year.
I don't disagree with that. But so, anyways, though. Here's what that trade tells me about what the Dolphins are going to do. And I don't think I'm breaking any ground here. To me, by going into 6, that means you, in my opinion, you are basically saying we have 4 guys that we like because we don't now going from 3 to 6, we don't care which one of them we get because we like all 4 of them. And I would say it's between Jalen Waddle, Alabama wide receiver, Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner, Alabama wide receiver, Kyle Pitts, the generational tight end from Florida, and Jamar Chase, wide receiver from LSU. I think any one of those 4 guys they like. I have zero clue which one they would prefer more. But I think that they look at those 4 guys and they say these are all pass catching threats who will make our team even scarier, especially after picking up Will Fuller. And we really don't give a shit which one we get. No, I mean, I'm sure that's bullshit. I'm sure they have one particular one in mind, but I also think they know, like, okay, look, 3 at this point, 3 quarterbacks are almost guaranteed to go 1, 2, 3. With the Niners moving into 3rd, I think because I still think 1 is Trevor Lawrence, 2 is Zach Wilson. I think 3 is either going to be Lance or Fields. I have a feeling the Falcons might pick a quarterback, just somebody to ultimately replace Matty Ice, and then the Bengals may take Penny Sewell or Kyle Pitts. I don't know, but bottom line is the Dolphins, I think, realize that at least 3, if not all 4 of those guys might be available to them at 6. So it's a perfect spot for them. And then they netted another first rounder.
Yeah.
I would have liked that trade a lot more if instead of netting a 2023 first rounder, it was a 2022 first rounder. But the Dolphins still ultimately made out okay. But it was a pretty big blockbuster day. Like Dolphins Twitter was a flutter the other day when those flurry of moves was happening. Yeah. Because first they trade back to 12, then they trade back into the top 6. Everyone's like, what the heck is happening? It was a pretty wild scene. And it was hard to keep track of too. We're like, wait a minute, did they make out well? Did they not make out? Ultimately they made out fine. I think it could have been a little better. But I'm not convinced that they're actually done. I actually still think they might go from 6 to 8 on draft day, depending on how the board falls for them.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Which I would be perfectly
I would
fine.
love to see your reaction if they draft a quarterback.
Oh, it wouldn't be good, and they're not going to do that.
It'd be the complete opposite of last year.
I would say there is a Dean Wormer 0.0 chance of that happening. 0.0. They are not drafting a quarterback. Why would you move from 3? If anything, you'd try to move up to 2. But
maybe they feel like somebody's going to fall in their lap. I don't know.
Okay, the only guy who could be there would be Mac Jones. Do you want Mac Jones? Is Mac Jones better than Tua? No, he's not. The answer is no. That was a rhetorical question, by the way. And I don't care what Mac Jones did in college. Statistically, he's not Tua.
All right.
Tua is still, to me, a very special player, and there's going to be a lot.
When is the draft?
Late April. It's like April 29th or something. It's
like
very late
now?
this year. It's just super. Yes.
And so you think Tua is a special guy? I still don't think he's that. I don't think he's that special. I will.
Extraordinarily special, and I think a lot of people are going to be eating crow this year, and the receipts are going to come flying. Too.
I think I will be one of those guys that eat crow. I think he might be out of the league in a couple years.
And listen, if he sucks this year, if they get him the running back, which I believe they will, and if they get him another receiver or Pitts, and you've got Will Fuller, and everybody's healthy, and there's no excuses for him, and he doesn't ball out this year, yeah, I will say, hey, I was wrong.
Okay.
Because I expect accountability from others, and especially from myself. So if he sucks, I'll be the first one to go out there like, hey, I was wrong. It sucks. I wish it would have worked out. Time to draft a quarterback again. But if he balls out, I'm fucking coming for you on Twitter. Oh my God, I'm gonna get blocked. I might actually get thrown off.
Hey, all I have to say is, who was the number 1 quarterback that I was saying was going to be a beast? Herbert, and he was a beast.
He was. Sure, he had a good year. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year. There's no denying it.
I thought he was going to be a beast. I liked his moxie. I liked his skill set.
I fell into the he's a Ryan Tannehill clone trap. But what I will tell you is I changed my mind on that when I watched Hard Knocks, and I was watching him. I was paying very close attention to him, and I was watching him make. And again, I know it's like training camps and it's practices, but man, oh man, he could put the ball right where he wanted it. And I was like,
he's a good QB.
This guy can fucking play.
He's a good QB.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. And listen, I'm not one of those Dolphin fans who hates him, by the way. I just hate obnoxious Chargers fans who think like, oh, this is some kind of battle. This is some kind of war that you've won. You won the battle. The war is not yet complete. And also, there is room in the league, again, for both guys to be great. There's room for all 3 of those guys, Burrow, Herbert, and Tua, to be great. It's not like only 1 or 2 can be. All 3 can be.
Speaking of Obi-Wan, Damien posted, in case you weren't planning on talking about this, during the sorts section, they released the cast list for the Obi-Wan series.
Oh, really?
Yes. So the cast list:
real quick.
Ewan McGregor, of course, Hayden Christensen, Moses Ingram, Joel Edgerton, Bonnie. I don't know what.
What's Joel Edgerton going to be?
I don't know yet. But he looks like it. He looks like somebody from Star Wars in his cast picture.
I love Joel Edgerton.
Kamal Nanjiani.
Okay. Cool.
Indira Varma. Rupert Friend.
Okay.
I don't know how you pronounce his name. O'Shea Jackson Jr. Sung Kang. Simone Kessel. Benny
Kessel is in the Kessel Run.
No. And Bonnie Peace? PSE? I don't know. I don't know what her name is.
I'm very excited about Edgerton, though. That's cool.
Yeah. Edgerton's good. I love Kamal Nanjiani. I think he's so funny. He's great. Again, Franklin and Bash.
Yeah. Yep.
He's a funny guy. I like his...
very funny guy.
His mannerisms, the way his cadence is just... He's
yeah.
awesome. So I'm sure he's going to provide some good comic relief. And he's jacked now, too.
Is he?
He is ripped.
Is he really? That's gonna be weird to see.
Dude, I gotta pull up a picture now. The fact that you didn't even know that, holy crap, dude. Kamal Nanjiani. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up and I'll post it on the screen, and then you can take a look at it, dude. Dude is ripped, dude. You ready? I'm putting it on the screen right now.
Oh my God.
Dude, look at this guy.
No, I see it. Holy shit. Wow. Oh my God, he looks so different. What the hell did he do?
Seriously, man. I'm telling you. Dude is jacked. He got, when he did that movie with Bautista.
Oh, shit.
You know when he did that movie with Bautista?
You saw Dave with his shirt off and he was like, damn.
Pretty much.
You do that.
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
That is an unbelievable transformation.
Yeah.
Wow, look at the veins.
Oh, Damien said that Edgerton's going to be Uncle Owen.
Oh, that's right, because he was Uncle Owen.
Mm-hmm. Joel and Bonnie played Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru in the
That's right.
prequel.
Yeah, that's right. He already was. Okay, that was dumb.
That's all right.
That's right. You know what? I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, wasn't he? He was Uncle Owen. Okay, that's right.
All right, so that's I like the cast list. I can't wait to see what's going on.
We've only got about 10 more minutes because I got to wrap. But,
yeah.
So
But
Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier. We can talk about that real quick in the little thing that we like to talk about. It's not. Hold on.
Where do you think you're going? I'm going to sort it out.
All right, so in this little segment, we are going to talk about the Falcon and Winter Soldier. We watched the first episode, the second episode. Second episode got released at the end of last week, and I watched it last night. New Captain America was given a little bit more screen time this week, so we will not get into any spoilers or anything like that. We won't talk spoilers. We will just kind of give you what our thought process on it. And Damien said, it's been 2 decades, LOL. I'm assuming about Edgerton and Bond. So
right.
It's been a while. All right, so let's get into Falcon and Winter Soldier. So far, I loved the first episode, especially the first 15 minutes. I was like on the treadmill, and like I was just like trying to do a walk, trying to get loose and all that kind of stuff. Like I wanted to run through the wall during that opening scene in the first episode. Yeah. And as it went on, it got a little bit more kind of dialogue-y and a little bit more dull, like a little more boring with the backstory about, Winter Soldier and all that. Yeah. And it was fine. It was engaging enough. I still feel like the Winter Soldier is a little bit of a bland character, even though they're giving stuff about him. He's just so solemn and quiet, and he's not showing much of a personality except for the snarkiness.
He's also trying to blend back into society, which is not easy for a guy that's 70 years old.
But I would like a little bit more anger or something along those lines to be
I think it's there.
Given.
It's just
right.
Repressing it.
I want to
trying to
get it. I want to get it. I want to either get one or the other. I want to get a little something.
I'm a Sebastian Stan though. So,
I love Sebastian
You're going to
Stan.
have a hard time getting me to say anything bad about the
I think he's an amazing Winter Soldier. I think that I just want a little bit more from his character.
I mean, my 2 favorite Marvel characters are Doctor Strange and the Winter Soldier. So, I mean, I love Sebastian Stan's interpretation.
Well, if we roll that, the top Mount Rushmore of Marvel movie characters.
They would be on mine. My Mount Rushmore, if we did Marvel characters, would be very weird.
And it's all of them. It's like X-Men now and everything.
And yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Mine would be, I don't want to say bizarre, but it would definitely be more of cult classic favorites as opposed to
nothing wrong with that.
Or Captain America Hulk. It's not going to be chalk. It's going to be a little out there.
Yeah. You're giving yours. That's again.
I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is a good show through the first 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of building up slowly the way WandaVision did, which, by the way, I thought WandaVision was just incredible. I mean, that was just a phenomenal show. I thought it was so cool.
I have only watched 4 episodes of WandaVision because the first 2...
It gets better.
The first 2, I almost gave up. I have a 3-episode... that I have to watch 3 episodes before I give up on a show.
But you need to go deeper with WandaVision, though, because there are some truths that start to really
right, and you can kind of see that. I just have found it so far boring after 4 episodes.
I think you'll like it more.
My wife is completely engaged with it, and Cameron watched the whole thing. He finished it, and he said he loved it, and he thought the ending was kind of sad. So I am willing to give it. I'm gonna continue to watch it. I'll probably watch it on Friday nights. But my wife and I started getting into Bridgerton too, so we just started watching that. And so far, we've both liked it, so we're gonna continue to probably watch that too. So we'll sprinkle all that in. But all right, so the Winter Soldier, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I like it. I don't love it. I think it's good. I love the action. Unfortunate for me, I don't get enough, and I haven't found the villain so far in this compelling enough. I am a big villain guy. I think if you have a good villain, whether it's a Darth Vader or
the flag smashers, right? Isn't that what they are?
It's just I'm not going to get into what they are and all that kind of stuff, because there's a little bit of that's a little bit of a spoiler, but I guess
we can't really talk about the spoiler.
I need a little bit more. Yeah. I need a little bit more of a little bit more backstory on them, why they're there. You kind of got a glimpse of it. I don't particularly love it. I find it a little boring, and I find that there is no way in hell I am even slightly rooting for the villain right now. There's always parts of you, even in when, Luke Skywalker is fighting Darth Vader, you're kind of like, you want Luke to win because he's the good guy, but at the same time, you're like, I want something, some sort of redemption for Vader. I want him to just show his power. I want something. Or even in like the redemption, even in the Dark Knight with the Joker, when Heath Ledger played the Joker, you're just kind of like, holy cow, this guy is so maniacal. I kind of see his point, even though it's absolutely ludicrous. I see his point, and you're rooting for him against a lot of the other gangsters that he's just ripping apart. And you find his character compelling, and
even people thought Thanos had a purpose,
right? And because he is one of those, like, there are plenty of people out there that are like, yeah, it'd be good for 50% of the earth to be wiped away because everybody's overpopulating, and therefore you could have your resources last longer. Like, and that's his whole reasoning. So like
even that scene in the beginning of Endgame where, like, Captain America, goes back into the base, and he's talking with Natasha, and he's like, I saw some whales in the sound today, and he's like, less pollution, less boats.
Yeah.
Whale, like nature is kind of resetting itself.
Yeah.
And she's like, if you're trying to make me feel better about this,
yeah.
He's like, sorry, force a habit.
Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, like, even with like the coronavirus, if you recall, especially after the first few months of it, because people were not going out, like you were starting to hear those reports about how, like, the environment was benefiting, even though this whole thing was horrible because hundreds of thousands of people were dying.
Yeah.
But the environment was sort of resetting itself in a way, because people were just staying in, not as much carbon emission, but ultimately it's like, okay, I'm not trading that for human life.
Right.
But, so it's like coronavirus is still the bad guy. Okay. Like, we recognize that it's just this horrible thing that's killed millions of people, which is just absolutely awful.
It's not what you want.
It's not what you want, but if you want to sort of dig for the silver lining, okay, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Tell that to the people who have lost a loved one, though.
There's been a lot of them. That's for sure.
That's so. Well, listen, as far as Winter Soldier, I was predispositioned to like the show from the beginning just because I love the Winter Soldier and I like Falcon. I mean, I struggle with the whole. The premise is tough for me. Like, dude, you get bequeathed the shield from Steve fucking Rogers, and your first inclination is, I'm not worthy, I'm going to give this thing to the goddamn Smithsonian, only to have some fucking white guy come in and take it? Nah, fuck that shit. You needed to hold on to that shield, man. I'm with, and actually, this is where I love the Winter Soldier, because he's like, what the fuck were you thinking, Sam? Like, he gave you that. He deemed you worthy. Mm-hmm. That's the guy, the only other human being, well, whatever, the only other individual on the planet who was worthy enough to wield Thor's hammer, and you gave the shield away? He handed it to you. He gave you his blessing, and you just handed it over to the Smithsonian? That's the part I'm struggling with. Only so that the dude who in the mask looks like the old guy from Disney's Up could take it. He looks way better without the mask on, by the way.
He does.
But in that first scene,
His face looks like a bitter beer face guy.
yeah. In that first scene, though, you're like, all the memes are flying all over the Twitterverse of him like being compared to the old man from Up, and it was legit.
It works.
It looked like that. The chin was like exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what that dude's gonna look like when he's old.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be on a recliner.
He's going to be in the live action Up.
A shit ton of balloons. I mean, it's just, like, it's the whole thing was just so, like, that's the part I'm struggling with, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, come on, like, seriously, Steve Rogers gave you the shield. He wanted you. He handpicked you to be the next Captain America, and you gave it away to a museum, who only then quickly turned it around and just gave it to this, John Walker guy. Well, who, by the way, I think is played very well by Wyatt Russell.
But you're kind of seeing. I like the way that you're kind of seeing his maybe not so Captain America qualities towards the end. Like when he has a little bit of a conversation with the Winter Soldier and Falcon, he's kind of like, then
cool.
Get out of my way, then. I don't know. I don't know.
He was like trying to be cool about it, and now he's just like, all right, if you're not going to be,
Yeah. It's a little.
But at the same time, like, you want to sympathize with Sam, but then you're like, well, wait a minute, but you gave the shield away. You didn't think this was a possibility,
Yeah.
Like. So it's like I like, in a weird way, you sort of sympathize with the new Captain America, because it's like, okay, is it really his fault for taking up the mantle? Like, they wanted him to be the guy. Sam gave the shield away, but at the same time, you're like, okay, but. Sam should be the new Cap. But it's tough. I mean, but listen, I mean, so far I like it though. I'm engaged. I'm into it.
I mean, and there's multiple ways. I mean, multiple people have taken over the shield. Sam has been one, and also the Winter Soldier has been another one. So those are two guys that could potentially, if Sam really doesn't want it, I mean, that might be something that could make. But I don't. You don't need another Captain America. You just don't need it. I think he's the Falcon. Be the Falcon.
Be the Falcon.
Yeah. You don't need it.
Winter Soldier.
You don't need it. You don't need another Captain America.
It's a symbol.
It is.
Steve Rogers is Captain America.
Right. Steve Rogers, Chris Evans, perfect Captain America. Just let it go. Let it go.
Do you like clean cut Captain America better or bearded Captain America better?
They both have their place.
I like bearded Captain America, but
I like clean cut because Captain America.
But I'm not a clean cut guy, so neither are you these days. That's more than a 5 o'clock shadow.
Well, yeah, I didn't. I was gonna shave yesterday. I didn't. I was gonna trim it down. Just forgot. You get in the shower and you're kind of like, I was gonna trim. Do tomorrow.
We've got to wrap. I got a call in a few minutes.
All right. So we are going to spin the wheel real quick. The Wheel of Destiny. I'll put that thing on real quick. Ready? Where'd it go? Let's see if this isn't the real one, but it's close. Wheel of Destiny. Yeah. All right, so we got that. And then we're going to load up the scene. We got it right here. Got to go there. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's you, Bri Man. And then I have to click on the right camera. And the Wheel of Destiny is getting ready to be spun. Ready? And it lands on How Is This Only? All right, so we are going to be doing a How Is This Only next week. Pick our movies that we think, why is this movie only rated at this level? It should be rated higher. So we're going to be doing that next week. As of right now, you can find us on Twitter at Shane and Bri Man, on Facebook at Shane and the Bri Man at Gmail. Shane and the Bri Man at Facebook. On Facebook, our Facebook page is Shane and the Bri Man. I'm just going to keep repeating that over and over again. And then Twitter, you can find me at Einhornus and on Instagram at Happy McAvoy.
You can find me on Twitter at _Bri_man, and in the words of the great Tony Stark, which I was watching last night again. I was watching Endgame again last night. Shocking. Mm-hmm. It was on TNT, so I just couldn't turn it off. It's like, wait a minute, I could go to Disney Plus and watch it commercial free. Instead, I just keep it on TNT because I'm so lazy. But in the words of the great Tony Stark, part of the journey is the end, and this is the end of this show, but we will see you again next week.
Word.
Have a great week, everybody.
Yes, we will see you guys soon.
Happy Easter.
And we'll talk to you later. Peace out. Right. Much love. And bye-bye.
Stay classy, point blank.
Yeah.